Hi, everyone. Welcome to Arthritis at Home, hosted by arthritis consumer experts. It is always great to be with you. I'm Cheryl Cohen. I'm the president of Arthritis Consumer Experts. And I am so excited to be here today in the studio, again with Dr. Terri-Lynn Fox. So very grateful to you, Dr. Fox, for joining us again today.
Thank you, Cheryl. It's wonderful to be here.
Yeah, I'm going to tell the audience, remind them a little bit about you, or tell our new viewers a little bit about yourself and what we're going to talk about today, which is the Blood Tribe Health receiving a very prestigious award, the Premier's Award for Innovation in Mental Health and Addictions Care. Dr. Fox is from the Blood Tribe within the Blackfoot Confederacy and practices her Siksikaitsitapi ways. Dr. Fox has a bachelor's degree in psychology, a master's degree in sociology, and has her doctoral degree in education. Her dissertation focus was on Indian residential schools and the specific perspectives of her Blackfoot Confederacy people on the experiences of survivors from the Blackfoot Confederacy from 6 residential schools. And most of her research is on or about Indian residential schools. Dr. Fox is both directly and indirectly affected by Indian residential schools. She is the daughter of 2 survivors of an Indian residential school and is a survivor herself of Indian day schools. She, nevertheless, through all of that trauma and pain and now journey of healing, has been blessed with 4 children and 6 grandchildren and has accomplished so much. And knowing you, Dr. Fox, I know you've got much more to accomplish in this time on the planet. So welcome. We're so privileged to have you join us today to talk about not only your work of the past and present with us, but mostly to talk about the award that the program you've received has been granted, and you are the director of that program. Over the past 2 years, you've guided us and co-led our Truth and Reconciliation journey, as we've talked about, and reconciliation work at Arthritis Consumer Experts. And from you and other Indigenous leaders in health, we of course continue on our learning journey about the effects that were the direct result of 140 plus years of colonial rule and abuse of Indigenous peoples in Canada. And it's that intergenerational trauma that comes really into clear focus when we're talking about your program and the award you've received for the excellence of this program that you've led the development of. And that's specific to how mental health and addiction is impacting Indigenous peoples on and off reserve. So with that very long-winded introduction and context for our audience, welcome, and let's just dive right in. So in the fall of 2022, so just a few short months ago, you learned that your day treatment, that your program has received the Day Treatment Mental Health and Addictions Award, very prestigious. It's a national award. And it's for the Kainai Wellness Centre within the Blood Tribe Department of Health. So the first question, an obvious one, is what is the award? Who established it? And what does it mean to you to receive this award? To all of your people and the people using the program.
Thank you, Cheryl. I appreciate the introduction and to the continuing participants and the audience and the new ones that are joining us. It's an honor always to come and speak with Cheryl and Arthritis at Home community. So we are still in the process of really acknowledging that this national award for what we do every day has been acknowledged. And in that, our day treatment program was founded on the astounding need to provide specific care. So the award itself recognizes the innovation of what we're doing within mental health and addictions care on our reserve. So our reserve is the largest geographical reserve in Canada. We have a population now of 13,000 plus members, and we're pretty much covering southern Alberta, which reaches the US-Canada.
That's astounding. Border. That's astounding.
So with that, over the past 4.5 years, since my tenure as the director for wellness program, I've built a capacity to target specific issues in this area, and the capacity can serve in mental health and addictions, community engagement, and meshed and utilizing the foundation of our Blackfoot ways of knowing and being as our guiding principles. And so really that innovation in just saying there's no box. So when people say think outside of the box, well, there's no box at all. And just where we're gonna go, you know, that far-reaching, you know, not knowing how far we can go guides us. And the team we have with, you know, degreed, credentialed individuals in psychology and social work, in addictions counselors, as well as our clinical lead, who is a foreign trained psychiatrist himself, Canadian trained, specialist in addictions and pain management. So our team is, you know, expands across that spectrum of mental health and addictions and humanistic approaches. But this award specifically, you know, when I was called and they congratulated me and the team, I'm like, I'm not even sure what you're calling to say congratulations on, right? Did somebody, you know, did I win the lottery and someone else has my ticket? I don't know. So it was really an amazing moment. But the award itself was, you know, the premiers come together and they work collaboratively, form closer ties, create and foster relationships within each province and across provinces, and within those connections show leadership on important issues that matter to all Canadians. And so there's only one in each province or territory, so there's 13 awarded last year, so we were one of 13.
Wow.
You know, really awesome, heartfelt. But you know, we win awards, we're nominated, we are selected, it's announced, and the next day we go and do the work we're gonna do, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, it's honoring and humbling, and we feel very honored that people recognize the work that we're doing.
Yeah.
Right from, you know, our housekeeping and our security here at Wellness, to all our frontline workers, our admin support, our experts, our specialists, our senior management that provides the support we need, to our board of directors, that we're all working together to create amazing programs that target the health needs of our members. So really a congratulations to everyone within the Department of Health. Yeah,
absolutely. Takes a team, as you and I both know, to achieve excellence in any field. And it's just massive congratulations, Dr. Fox. I guess when I think about your program and what I know of your program, because I obviously work closely with you and know you well, I think, what is it that you think is unique about your program? Because obviously you come into contact with your peers on and off reserve who are also working in mental health and addiction. What do you think are some of the innovative things that you've done that could lift up programs elsewhere if they know about these things?
So I think first and foremost, it's immersed in our culture, Blackfoot ways of knowing, being, and doing, and the involvement of elders and knowledge keepers. And that is the basis of each and every day of the day treatment program. We have a smudge, an elder is there to say a prayer and to talk about whether it's legends or some specific experience or historical experience that we've gone through and overcome. Maybe everyday, experiences, and really providing that respectful connection, humanistic approach to engaging with members. And I guess when we work in this area, we say clients, but really there are members, there are people, there are family, there are friends, and having that trustful connection. So that's our foundation each day. And I think that's what makes it so unique, because as Blackfoot people, we believe in our connection to our creator, our spiritual connection, and ancient ways and elders still today will say our spirit guides us. When we lose sight of our track and don't connect or don't respect our spirit, we go astray. But it's when we come back to praying and ceremony and connect back to spirit, we then connect to creator. And albeit it's working for our members and those who participate in the program. We have to date 51 graduates, and graduates for the program would be that they've attended 7 or more day treatment days, and in that time period they've learned different skills. They've increased their awareness about the physiology of addictions and substance use, alcohol use, and then they have this way to apply it to themselves, and can then engage in dialogue with the facilitators. So they're learning this knowledge about themselves in a safe space, one that is grounded in ceremony and prayer, and we honor them. It's like any other program, but ours targets this specific area in mental health and addictions, and they're treated so well. They're fed. They're if they have triggering points, they are supported, and at the end of the day, they all receive an incentive, albeit a small incentive, but just something uplifting to all of them. And it might seem minute, but to them it's something really amazing. So I think though that's the key to the success of our program, is it's grounded in our culture. We're connected to our knowledge keepers, our elders. We introduce Blackfoot language in one of the sessions, and we do art therapy as related to our historical art or artifact making, and it's a fun group. Right? There's laughter, there's humor. Even some of the elders, they'll tell these humorous stories, right? And throw the right in there. And we're just very blessed that, members keep coming and participating in the program. And actually they're actually the advertisers of the program.
Definitely. Yeah. So when we talk about the people who are coming into the Kainai Wellness Center, is it something they can self-refer? or is it a more traditional clinical presentation of mental health issues or addiction and then over to the center? Like, how does that work?
So all of the above. So they
Okay.
can self-refer. Family member can call in and say, so-and-so needs support. We've heard of your day treatment program. Most are current clients, whether they're in mental health counseling already, working with an addictions counselor to go for residential treatment, or for those who don't have childcare or don't want to go too far away to residential treatment, and they want the support here in the community. So we target as many people as needed. We make it easy for them to utilize the program. We pretty much don't have any, no, everyone is accepted unless you are an active user that morning. So you can't come here under the influence of any drugs or alcohol. And we have trained staff, so they will
know. Yeah.
So they'll gently say, okay, come back next week. We know you're under the influence, and we don't really have any push and shove. They respect our guidelines and our do's and don'ts, which is, really good to see that they too are disciplined in that. So yeah, just target as many people as we can, make it easy for them to come to the program.
So what a difference between that program and one you're going to see off reserve in a typical healthcare institution, where there's one door and it's barely cracked open to get someone through it, versus your approach, which is there are many doors around every side of the wellness center where people can come in, which is beautiful. Yeah. When you talk about clients as your best advertisers, can you, without obviously naming names, tell us a few success stories you've seen in your time as director? Because I mean, I think people are inspired by success stories. I've, been involved in some counseling situations where you think this person's just going to have such a hard time getting through, and they do. And the next person who's having a tough time hearing that story that they made it through and are surviving and thriving now can be the door opener for someone else. So can you share just very briefly, Dr. Fox, about some of those successes?
Definitely. So initially, when developing this program, kind of what is the vision, what is our long-term goals, some of our clients pre-day treatment initiative, one element was when I go for treatment, I come back, I need a safe place to stay so I don't get triggered. Another element is I need employment. So we, being the health department on reserve, our continuum of care involves so many partners, collaboration, both on and off reserve, and how can we best meet the needs of people we work with. So with the program, we were thinking somewhere down the line, the graduates, when they're ready and at that point of, okay, maybe I want to go back to school, maybe I want to go to post-secondary, maybe we want to get into a 16-week hands-on training program and start being self-sufficient, which is crucial, and giving back that, empowering them. What else can you do? What else are you going to achieve once you achieve and maintain sobriety and abstinence? So within our program, our graduates are now employed with our department. We now are overseeing one of the shelters on our reserve. And being under our program, our pool of employees was reaching out to our day treatment graduates. So if we could hear those success stories. They're disciplined. They're, what else can I do? What else do you want me to do? Did I do this, well? And they want to, achieve excellence in their employment with the shelter, knowing that they were once maybe a shelter occupant,
Right.
and just starting their sobriety, day one, right? Now they've overcome that spectrum. They're at the point of being mentors and helpers and peer support and receiving an income for what they do. So those are success stories. So
Yeah.
far we have 3 employed, and we're working on all the others because it's just so new. And now we kind of see where our program has enhanced their self-identity, their confidence, their they know their support system. So that's so amazing to see. Like,
It's
we're so happy.
incredible. And the thing that I love is that it's embedded in traditional ways of doing it. They have that as their foundation from the program, from obviously being born into culture, but you reinforcing that and providing those reminders and that, that love and support, all of it, and the practical tools they're going to need going forward. I also can see that there's no box. I imagine this was an element that has developed because you had no box to think out of, right? Which is very cool. Yeah. Amazing.
If we could, if we could have captured and recorded, day one, sobriety, day one, I'm not going to use, right, to the point of, let's say, a year or a year and a half later, sobriety, and their spirit coming into its own, the glow, the contentment, that where they're at today. Of course we could have done that, now just some other developments. We're in the process of developing, we have tools now that we're going to utilize to measure their quality of life and their decreased substance use since being a graduate or coming to the day treatment program. So now we're actually going to measure that with a practicum student from, one of our, I guess, host universities that we work with. And it's come a long way. And once this template is developed, the tool is solidified, and we see the relevance, we're going to then measure our other program areas and then utilize it hopefully in the future as a template for the health department to measure members' quality of life and either, decreased substance use or decreased pain or what have you. So we're, again, far reaching. We don't know how far, but it's there for us. Again, innovation, insight, and just desire and passion to change 140 years and overcome all that. So
yeah, this is so exciting, and I'm not surprised to hear the academic in you developing measurement tools. That's always because you really want to know what is the quantifiable difference in the life of someone who's gone through the program. That's super exciting. I can't wait to see the publication through the department. Last question for you. As you know, we're an arthritis patient organization. We span West Coast all the way to East Coast, North and South. of the borders of Turtle Island. And we're wondering from you and from all of this experience that you have, and also as a person living with rheumatoid arthritis yourself, do you see a direct connection between arthritis? We know that the prevalence incidence is much higher in Indigenous populations. What kind of connection do you see with addiction? We know that pain drives mental health issues, does often drive addiction issues. And we wonder if you can tease that apart a little bit for us, if you can.
Sure, and it's probably along the lines of what I've researched within my dissertation, and
Yeah.
Utilizing Dr. Eduardo Duran, who's a Native American psychologist, and utilizing the books and YouTube videos of Dr. Gabor Mate, looking at trauma, and both from a medical perspective, but also from a cultural, spiritual perspective, and seeing that connection with the prevalence of disease and illness and apathy in communities, especially our community. There's probably a direct connection. I'm pretty, certain to say that, where when I say culture is our immune system, so if we're immersed in our culture, we will have good health. We have our culture pre-residential school was such that we had ceremony, we lived on the land, we're in unison with the environments. And now we have this foreign spiritual, I guess, dark energy, people coming in, assimilation, genocide, all those elements that targeted our culture, our wholeness. And so when we try and break down that culture, what has manifested is what we see today. And whether it's dependence on a foreign substance, alcohol, drugs, prescription drugs are included, addiction and gambling and pornography, and because we want this high, we want this feel good feeling. So looking at the disease as well, if we don't take care of ourselves, and that also was a barrier when we went to residential schools. Children were taken, parents lost their children, that connection. So all age groups were affected, not only the children, the grief and loss, disconnect, all of these elements are factored into the prevalence. However, we have seen research and I guess academics and now many Indigenous researchers publishing that when we come back to our ceremonies, we're coming back home, we're connecting and aligning our spirit with our mind and our body, and those are protective factors. Those will then help us understand that pain, and it's okay to feel pain, it's okay, but in that disconnect, in the intergenerational trauma, historical trauma, it was so hard because so many other elements, loneliness, abuse of all sorts, and just malnutrition, and like being real, these are all elements that I've heard and I know through research. So now we're understanding, we're teaching, we're creating awareness, giving people the tools they need to make healthy choices, good choices, one day at a time type of choices, knowing where supports are, knowing the people, trusting those that work in these areas, right? All of these factors play a role in that continuum of care at present. And we are one element of that. And I think we are very critical element to help overcome as we are mental health and addictions and arthritis care,
Yeah.
other disease, right? Calm the mind, calm the body down. We don't need to overreact. We don't need the adrenaline rush. We don't need that. We just come down, say a prayer, meditate. It's okay, but we don't want to live in chaos here. And creating that awareness of how to teach people to self-regulate, keep that immune system, a little healthy, but not overactive, because I know what that looks like. And my everyday reality now is, okay, breathe through it. What are you gonna do? You can't get that anxiousness, anxiety feeling, because you know what's gonna happen, right?
But you're set. I mean, there's this 140 years of sustained imposition of horrific trauma that is the default, right? And I listened to you and I wrote it down. Culture is our immune system. That's so clear. And if we don't respect and lift up culture, we can't hope to be whole as humans. And for those of us who've been involved in colonialization, either directly or as the next gen, propagating something that was created by our ancestors, we have a duty to make this change, which is really truth and reconciliation and all of the work that we're doing with you. I just cannot thank you enough for coming on again, Dr. Fox. I'm so excited that the excellence of your program, the work of you and the team and the whole tribe, the whole blood tribe is doing together deserves that recognition. And I hope that people who have joined us today have learned something new or been reminded of something that they may have let slip their mind. And that hopefully healthcare providers have learned something as well by your sharing about the program and how it works and what it's centered on. And that is a return to culture, which is incredible. Thank you so much for joining us. We can't wait to have you back. I'm going to twist your arm again and plead and promise and, lure or whatever it is I need to do to get you back on. I really appreciate it. And we wish you very, very well. Thanks you
so much. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you, Ace, and all the viewers. It's my pleasure, an honor to come back and share with you what I know.
Well, it looks like a beautiful day there in southern Alberta. So you enjoy the rest of it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Talk soon.
Bye-bye.
And thank you everyone for joining us at Arthritis at Home. We'll see you again.